You ever wonder what gets left behind? Not just objects or memories, but something deeper. A shape. A routine. Something that keeps going, even when the person who started it is gone. I never did. Not until my grandmother's apartment. She passed last autumn. Quietly. She'd lived in that apartment for over 50 years. When I went to clear it out, it was exactly as she'd left it. Every book, every little ceramic bird on the mantelpiece. Everything in its place. Too much in its place, maybe. Like she'd just stepped out for a moment. In the utility closet, tucked behind some old linens, I found a small box. Inside, an ancient VCR and a stack of unmarked VHS tapes. And a note. Building security. Do not erase. My grandmother, practical as always, had kept the old apartment building's security recordings. Just in case, I suppose. I plugged it in out of curiosity. The footage was grainy, black and white, showing a wide shot of the building's main entrance lobby. Days blurred into weeks. Mostly empty, occasionally a neighbor. And then, there she was. My grandmother. Every evening, without fail, she would appear in the frame. Not leaving, not arriving. Just moving. Always towards the dining room. I watched more closely. Fast-forwarded through the boring parts, stopping precisely when she entered the frame. Every evening. Around 6 o'clock. She would walk straight to the dining room. And then, the ritual began. She'd pull out 2 chairs. Lay out 2 placemats. 2 sets of cutlery. 2 glasses. A plate for 2. Every single night. For 2. My first thought was dementia. A coping mechanism, maybe. Or a neighbor she ate with regularly. Perhaps she had a friend, someone I didn't know about. I called my mother, aunts, uncles. No one knew of any regular dinner guest. Oh, she always ate alone after your grandfather passed, my mother said. Just tea and toast, mostly. But this was a full setting. I kept watching the tapes. Days turned into weeks, then months of footage. The same time. The same precise movements. Never a visitor. Never a second person joining her at the table. She would set it, then sit alone. Staring at the empty chair across from her. Sometimes she'd even place a hand on the tablecloth, as if reaching for someone. The consistency was unnerving. Too perfect for forgetfulness. Too deliberate for confusion. It was a performance. The apartment grew cold around me, even with the heating on. I sat in the dark, the only light coming from the old VCR screen. The image of her, setting that table, was burned into my mind. I was alone in her apartment. The one where she had performed this silent ritual every night. The air felt heavy. Like someone had just left. Or like someone was about to arrive. I heard it then. A faint, almost imperceptible sound. A soft clink. Like porcelain on porcelain. From the dining room. I froze. My breath caught in my throat. It was just once. A delicate, resonant sound that echoed in the otherwise silent apartment. It sounded so real, so present. I wasn't watching the tapes anymore. This was now. This was here. Slowly, I pushed myself up. My legs felt like lead. I walked down the short hallway to the dining room entrance. The light from the lobby barely reached. I peered in. The room was empty. The table, a dark, polished expanse, stood untouched. Not a single plate. Not a single fork. Perfectly bare. Perfectly still. And that was worse. That was so much worse than finding anything out of place. I walked back to the living room, my mind racing. Then, I remembered something. A story my grandfather used to tell. He'd come home late from work sometimes, and my grandmother, always the early riser, would already be asleep. But he swore he'd hear her in the kitchen, moving about, setting the table. He said he'd found it set for two, sometimes. Even when he knew she'd been asleep for hours. He always thought he was just tired. Or dreaming. A habit, he called it. A deep, ingrained habit. Even then. I stared at the empty dining room again. Not a single thing out of place. But the clink of porcelain, it had been so clear. And the tapes, showing her, setting the table for someone who never came. It wasn't about her. Not anymore. It was about the habit. A routine so deeply ingrained, so utterly part of the apartment itself, that it had never truly stopped. My grandmother was gone. But her dinner guest, it seemed, was still expected. Every night. And for the first time, I felt like I was the one intruding on someone else's space.